In a globalized world, I think we often, when we talk of our external engagement, especially our economic engagement, we tend to really focus on trade. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But we often neglect work and the mobility associated with work. Just to give you a sense of what it is to which we don't pay enough attention. Last year, remittances to India were $135 billion. That's about roughly twice our exports to the United States. Now, it's just the remittances, because think of the people abroad, their own livelihood, the assets they have created there, the services which have been generated in India, the second, third order consequences of all this. And I leave it to you to actually imagine what is the size of this business which is called mobility. And I put it to you, it is clearly multiple X times the remittance. Now, that's the positive side. There's also, like in life, a downside to it. Because when mobility is legal, when mobility is formal, then it has a whole lot of beneficial impacts, which I will talk about. But when it is not, then I think it is actually almost a magnet for every kind of bad business to be associated with it. So if you look at trafficking per se, all the associated crimes, and often it leads people with agendas of various kinds, political agendas, separatist agendas, they all join up to the illegal mobility side of it. So the very fact that you have today recognized the importance of mobility, for me, is a cause of satisfaction. Now, obviously, there are two aspects to this mobility, or three aspects to this mobility. One is demography. I mean, there are places where there's demand, but there aren't enough people. The demography and the demand are mismatched. The second, to some degree, is competitiveness and talent, that other people offer something which makes it worth, the while of the hosting society to get them. And the third is actually social attitudes towards work, which is, in many cases, there may be people, but they don't want to do that particular kind of work, or they don't want to do it at that cost, in that number, under those conditions. So the fact is, today, mobility is an increasingly important factor of the international economy. Now, we know there is a market for mobility. But I think from the viewpoint of the government, there are three consequences which emerge from that. One, how can we be enablers of mobility? How can we improve the skill sets of people who are potentially mobile? How can we provide them with the facilities to make them mobile? The second, arrangements, formal arrangements, sometimes between governments and companies, enterprises. And the third, to the people who are mobile, who go out of the country. How do you equip them with the confidence and the assurance to operate in a global workplace? So, in a sense, it begins from creating a global workforce, preparing a global workforce at home, and then ensuring when the workforce is actually deployed in the workplace, that it is done so as efficiently and as securely as possible. So, I actually...
भारतर एकमात्र परीक्षित बायोसार पृथ्वी प्रो माटी को रखे सुस्थ दिए नुआ जीवन धान पनीपरिबा और डाली जातीय फसल पाई लाभदायक अमल बढ़ाए रोग कमाए आज ही जमीरे प्रयोग करंतु जोगाजोग पाई 9937054201 नंबर को डायल करंतु।
आम सह जोड़ी हेबा पाई आमकु लाइक फॉलो और सब्सक्राइब करंतु। अधिक अपडेट पाई विजिट करंतु आम वेबसाइट thequiver.in।